5,000 years ago, a Chinese emperor made a decision that no one had ever made before. He decided to test every plant that existed on his own body. His name was Shennong, the divine farmer, the father of Chinese medicine. The man who poisoned himself 70 times in a single day so humanity could learn what healed and what killed. 365 plants, one for each day of the year. He chewed them, he brewed them, he inhaled them, he rubbed them into his skin, and then he waited. He watched what happened, which organ responded, which pain appeared, which relief arrived. Every reaction was written down. Every discovery was recorded. His body was the laboratory, his suffering was the method, and his legacy would become the first herbal compendium in human history. Some plants made him vomit for hours, others left him paralyzed, others brought him to the edge of death. But he also found the ones that healed, the ones that regenerated, the ones that returned strength to the weak, clarity to the confused, life to the dying. He classified each one. He identified which organ it benefited, which illness it fought, which dose healed, and which dose killed. In the end, one herb defeated him. His intestines ruptured. His body turned yellow, a plant so toxic that even Shennong could not survive. He died the way he had lived, testing, experimenting, sacrificing himself so others would not have to. But before he died, he left a gift, a manuscript containing everything he had discovered. The Shennong Ben Cao Jing, the forbidden herbal, knowledge written with his own blood. Tonight that knowledge will be revealed. 12 plants, the most powerful ones, the ones Shennong marked as sacred. The emperor who gave his life for this knowledge is about to speak. All you have to do is listen. Chapter 1. Ginseng, China. 5,000 years ago, a man walks through the mountains with an empty bag and a decision already made. He carries no weapons. He carries no provisions. He carries only his body and the willingness to destroy it if necessary. His name is Shennong. Some say he was born with a transparent torso, that he could see his own organs, that when something entered his body, he could observe exactly which organ responded, which one lit up, which one darkened. Myth or truth? No one knows. What is known is what he did with that body. He turned it into a laboratory. He tested 365 plants, one for each day of the year, and out of all of them, 12 were classified as the most powerful, the ones that regenerated, the ones that returned life where life had withdrawn. These are those 12 plants. The first one waits beneath the soil of the mountains where the fog never fully lifts. It grows on shadowed slopes where sunlight barely reaches. In damp, cold earth, protected by ancient trees that will not allow the light to touch the ground. There in darkness, this root grows in silence for years, sometimes decades. It accumulates something no other plant accumulates. Those who search for it may spend their entire lives tracking it. Generations of families devoted to a single task. Climb into the mountains. Walk through the fog. Look for the signs that reveal where it may be hidden. Many return with empty hands. Some do not return at all. But what disturbs people most about this root is not its rarity, it is its shape. When it is finally dug up, whoever sees it for the first time steps back, because the root looks human. 2 legs, 2 arms, a torso, a head, as if the earth had tried to create a man and stopped halfway, as if something living had been buried and transformed into a plant. When Shennong unearthed it for the first time, his companions ran. They believed it was a demon, a spirit of the underworld trapped between worlds, something that should not be touched by human hands. They shouted at the emperor to leave it, to bury it again, to forget he had ever found it. Shennong did not run. He took it in his hands. He cleaned the soil from it carefully, like someone wiping the face of a sleeping child. He stared at it for a long time. He studied each root that looked like a finger, each curve that looked like a joint, and then he did what he always did. He brought it to his mouth. The taste surprised him. Bitter first, then sweet, then something that had no name, a sensation that began on the tongue but did not stay there. It moved down the throat, reached the stomach, then spread from the center of his body out to his limbs, as if someone had lit an invisible fire inside his chest. Shennong waited for pain, for vomiting, for paralysis. They did not come. What came was the opposite, an energy he had never felt with any other plant. Not the nervous energy that lifts you up and then abandons you. A deep energy, stable, grounded, as if his tired organs remembered how they worked when he was young, as if something that had been extinguished had turned on again. That day he walked farther than he had walked on any other day of his life. He thought with greater clarity. He saw with sharper focus. He felt his body respond in ways he had forgotten it could respond. When night came, he was not tired. When dawn came, he was still not tired. That night he wrote in his manuscript, "This root that imitates the human form contains the essence of the mountain. It strengthens the 5 organs. It calms the spirit when it is agitated. It awakens the spirit when it is asleep. It clears the eyes when they have grown cloudy. It opens the heart when it is closed. Whoever consumes it will feel life return to the places where life had withdrawn." He classified it as a superior herb. In Shennong's set system, there were 3 categories. Lower herbs were poisons that could be used as medicine only in exact doses and at precise times. Middle herbs healed illness, but they demanded a price. They had effects that needed to be watched. Superior herbs were different. They could be taken every day without harm. They did not only cure, they prevented. They did not only heal what was sick, they strengthened what was healthy. Ginseng was the first superior herb in the herbal compendium, the most revered, the most sought after, the one later emperors would pay for with gold. A 100-year-old root was worth more than a house. A 200-year-old root was worth more than an entire village. Ginseng hunters became legend. Men who spent months alone in the mountains. Men who knew the secrets of the fog. Men who could read invisible signs that showed where an ancient root might be hidden. Entire families devoted to this craft for generations. Knowledge passed from father to son like the most valuable treasure. It was said the most powerful ginseng grew where lightning had struck, where the sky had touched the earth, where the energy from above fused with the energy below. Those roots contained something the others did not, something that could not be explained, but could be felt the moment it entered the body. What Shennong discovered 5,000 years ago, science confirms today. Ginseng contains compounds that help the body adapt, that balance what is unbalanced, that strengthen what is weak without attacking what is strong. It does not push the body in one direction. It helps the body find its own center. The organ ginseng regenerates is not just one organ. It is the energy that moves all organs, the vital force the ancients called qi, the invisible fire that keeps everything working. When that fire weakens, ginseng rekindles it. When that fire becomes chaotic, ginseng harmonizes it. The first plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed, the human-shaped root, the one Shennong tasted first and honored above all others. Chapter 2, Goji Berries. In the mountains of Tibet, where the air is so thin that visitors often collapse, grow small shrubs that produce tiny red berries. The monks who live at those heights harvest them every autumn. They climb narrow paths that almost no one else knows. They reach places where no outsider has ever stepped. And they return with baskets full of these berries that shine like drops of blood under the mountain sun. Tibetan monks are known for something that defies logic. They live longer than almost any other group of humans. In remote Himalayan villages, finding people who are 100 years old is not extraordinary. It is common. Men and women who have lived a full century, who still walk the mountains, still meditate at dawn, still keep clear minds and bright eyes. When asked their secret, many give the same answer. The red berries, the ones they eat every day, the ones they have eaten since childhood, the ones their parents ate, and their grandparents, and the grandparents of their grandparents, a chain of longevity stretching back thousands of years. Shennong discovered these berries long before Tibetan monasteries existed. He found them in the northern mountains of China, where the shrubs grew wild among rocks, small berries of deep red color, eaten eagerly by birds. Where birds ate without dying, Shennong knew he could taste. He took a handful and chewed them slowly. The flavor was sweet, with a slight bitterness beneath it, pleasant, very different from many plants. His body rejected immediately. These berries entered easily, as if the body recognized them, as if it had been waiting for them. The effects were not immediate, like with ginseng. Shennong waited. He observed. He noted that there was no discomfort, no negative reaction. The berries seemed harmless, perhaps ordinary food, perhaps nothing special, but he continued eating them every day. One handful, day after day, week after week, and then he began to notice something. His eyes. Shennong was no longer young. Years of testing plants had worn his body. His vision had weakened. Distant objects had become blurry. Reading his manuscript required holding it closer and closer to his face. After weeks of eating the red berries, the world began to sharpen, not suddenly, gradually, as if someone were slowly cleaning fog from glass. One day he realized he could read at the distance he had when he was young. Another day he noticed details in distant mountains he had not seen for years. The berries were healing his eyes. Shennong intensified his observation. He gave the berries to elders in his court, whose eyesight had failed. One after another they reported the same thing: gradual improvement, the world becoming clearer, colors regaining brightness. He wrote in his manuscript, "These red mountain berries nourish the eyes like no other plant. They clear clouded vision. They strengthen weak sight. The elderly who consume them see as in their youth. The young who consume them protect their eyes for the years to come." But there was more. Shennong noticed that those who ate the berries regularly became sick less often. They endured winters better. They recovered faster when illness struck. The berries were not only healing the eyes, they were strengthening something deeper, something that protected the entire body. He classified them as a superior herb, alongside ginseng, one of the few worthy of that rank, a plant that could be eaten every day without harm, a plant whose benefits accumulated over time instead of fading. The Taoists adopted goji berries as a central part of their search for longevity. They believed these berries contained the combined essence of heaven and earth, that those who consumed them for decades could reach lifespans that bordered on the supernatural. The most famous Taoist masters, the ones who lived in caves for years, the ones said to have reached 200 or even 300 years of age, all consumed goji daily. Modern science has found in these tiny berries an extraordinary concentration of nutrients, more vitamin C than most fruits, more beta-carotene than carrots, powerful antioxidants that protect cells from aging, specific compounds that nourish eye tissue, protect the retina, and prevent degeneration that comes with age. The organ goji regenerates is double: the eyes, and the system that defends the entire body, the vision that allows us to see the world, and the invisible shield that protects us from what the world sends. Shennong did not know why they worked. He only knew that they worked. He tested them on himself. He observed them in others. And he recorded them so the knowledge would survive. The second plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed. The red berries of the mountains, the ones the immortals consumed to keep seeing the world as centuries passed. Chapter dry. Astragalus. The ancient Chinese called it the invisible protector, not because it cured illness, because it prevented it. It did not repair what was already broken. It stopped things from breaking in the first place. It did not fight invaders that had already entered. It closed the gates before they could enter. This root grows in the northern steppes of China and Mongolia, lands where winter lasts longer than summer, where the wind cuts the skin, where only plants that have learned to resist survive. Astragalus thrives where others die, and that strength is exactly what it passes on to those who consume it. Shennong discovered this plant while following nomadic herders. He noticed that certain tribes fell sick far less often, that when plagues swept across the steppes, some families remained untouched while neighbors collapsed one after another. It was not luck, something was different. He asked them what they did. The nomads showed him a yellow root they boiled in water every morning. They had used it for generations. They could not explain how it worked. They only knew the results. Those who drank it became sick less often. Children raised with it survived when others did not. Elders who consumed it lived when others died. Shens took the root and tasted it. The flavor was mild, slightly sweet, not threatening, like a plant meant to be consumed. The effects were not dramatic. No surge of energy like ginseng, no immediate clarity like goji. If Shennong had tested it for a single day, he would have thought it did nothing. But he had learned that some medicines work quietly. He drank the root every day, for weeks, then months, and slowly he noticed something only patience reveals. He did not get sick. That winter was especially brutal. Fevers swept through the imperial court like fire through dry grass. Ministers fell ill, servants collapsed. Even doctors treating the sick became sick themselves. Shennong remained standing. It was not coincidence. It was the yellow root, working silently inside his body, building defenses that could not be seen, but could be felt when needed. He wrote in his manuscript, "This root from the northern steppes strengthens what the sages call protective energy, the invisible shield that circulates at the surface of the body, the force that keeps harmful things out. Whoever consumes it regularly builds walls no invader can cross." The ancients called this force Wei Qi, the body sep's defensive energy, a constant patrol, a guardian that recognizes what belongs and what does not. A body with weak Wei Qi is like a city without walls. Anything can enter. A body with strong Wei Qi is a fortress. Enemies crash against its defenses and are destroyed before causing harm. Astragalus feeds this invisible army, gives it strength, gives it numbers, gives it speed. The emperors who followed Shennong understood its value. They did not take it when sick. They took it so they would never become sick. Every morning the emperor drank astragalus tea. Every morning his defenses grew stronger. For 5,000 years Chinese doctors have prescribed astragalus without interruption. Generation after generation, century after century, the same yellow root, the same quiet strengthening of protection. Modern science has confirmed what the nomads discovered long ago. Astragalus contains compounds that activate immune cells, increase white blood cells, improve the body's ability to recognize and destroy threats. What Shennong observed through experience, biology explains today. The organ astragalus regenerates is not visible. It is the entire defensive system, the network of immune cells, the chemical signals, the rapid responses, the shield that never rests. Shennong classified astragalus as a superior herb, not because it healed spectacularly, but because it prevented illness from existing, because it built strength instead of repairing weakness, because it protected the future. The third plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed. The yellow root of the steppes, the invisible protector discovered by nomads and adopted by emperors. Chapter 4, Ginger. Confucius never ate without it. The most influential philosopher in Chinese history, the man whose teachings shaped an entire civilization, followed one rule without exception. At every meal, no matter how simple or how elaborate, there had to be ginger, not as a luxury, as daily medicine disguised as food. The ancient texts record it clearly. The master ate nothing without ginger, not because of flavor, but because he understood what this root did inside the body. He knew digestion was the foundation of health, and ginger was the guardian of digestion. Shennong discovered ginger in the tropical regions of the south, a strange, knotted root that grew horizontally beneath the soil, as if trying to escape. When he pulled it from the earth, a sharp aroma filled the air, strong, penetrating, impossible to ignore. The plant announced its power before it was even seen. He tasted it carefully. The burning sensation spread across his tongue. A fire that was not exactly pain, but not comfort either. A sensation that awakened the mouth and stirred sleeping tissues. Then the fire traveled down to the stomach, but instead of burning, it warmed. Shennong felt heat spreading from the center of his body outward, like a small fire being lit inside his core. That night he digested better than he ever had before. Earlier he had eaten a heavy meal that normally would have left him bloated and uncomfortable for hours. With ginger, the heaviness disappeared. The food transformed smoothly. He experimented for weeks. Meals with ginger, meals without ginger. The same foods, the same quantities. The difference was undeniable. With ginger, digestion was easy. Without it, digestion became work. He wrote in his manuscript, "This fiery root warms the center of the body. It awakens the sleeping stomach. It moves what is stagnant. It transforms what is raw. It is the fire that cooks food after it has been swallowed. Without this fire, food rots inside. With this fire, food becomes life." The ancients spoke of digestive fire, the internal heat that transforms food into energy. When that fire is weak, digestion fails. When it is strong, everything flows. Ginger feeds this fire. But Shennong discovered more. One day he took ginger while suffering from nausea. Few plants relieved nausea. Many made it worse. But ginger entered easily, and the nausea vanished. Not gradually, within minutes, as if a switch had been turned off. The twisting stomach calmed. The urge to vomit disappeared. The body stabilized. Shennong recorded this with special interest. Nausea was common. Travelers suffered from it. Pregnant women suffered from it. The sick suffered from it. A plant that could relieve such a widespread problem was priceless. Chinese sailors never traveled without ginger. Long sea journeys made many violently ill. The strong men vomited for days, but those who chewed ginger stayed stable. They worked while others suffered. Ginger also proved powerful against cold. Shennong noticed that when he consumed it on freezing days, the cold did not penetrate as deeply. The internal warmth acted as an extra layer of protection. The elders of the court began drinking ginger tea each morning. They reported that winter no longer affected them as harshly. Over generations, its uses expanded. Ginger for slow digestion, ginger for nausea, ginger for cold that settles in the body, ginger to awaken circulation. The organ ginger regenerates as the stomach, the cauldron where food transforms into nourishment. Without a functioning stomach, no nutrition can be used. The best food in the world is useless if digestion fails. Shennong classified ginger as a middle herb, not superior like ginseng, but essential. A plant that should be in every kitchen, on every table, at every meal, just as Confucius had understood. The fourth plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed, the fiery root, the guardian of the stomach. Chapter 5. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is not a root. It is not a leaf. It is not a fruit. It is the skin of a tree. the bark that protects the tree from cold, insects, and everything that tries to destroy it, the vegetal armor the tree creates to survive. And the ancients discovered that this protection could be transferred to whoever consumed it. In the south of China grew these aromatic trees. Harvesters climbed the humid mountains where they thrived. They waited until the tree reached the perfect age. Too young and the bark had no strength. Too old, and it became bitter and hard. There was an exact moment, a precise window of time. Then they peeled the bark away in long strips. As the strips dried in the sun, they curled naturally, forming the rolls the world knows today. But in Shen's time, those rolls were worth more than silver. Cinnamon was currency for kings. It was used to pay tributes, stored in imperial treasuries, given between rulers as gifts of respect and alliance. A merchant who returned from the southern mountains with cinnamon could become rich in a single journey. If he survived the journey, Shennong received his first cinnamon from a trader who had risked his life to obtain it. The aroma reached him before he even saw the bark, sweet and spicy at the same time, warm, comforting, as if the scent itself could heat the body on a cold day. He chewed it slowly. The taste was intense. Sweet first, then a gentle warmth spread. Not the sharp fire of ginger, a softer heat, an embracing heat. It traveled down his throat and settled in his chest. Then it began to move. Shennong felt his blood respond, a tingling in his hands, a stirring in his feet, as if internal rivers that had been flowing too slowly were suddenly opened. His hands, always cold, warmed. His feet, which suffered in winter, stopped aching. Cinnamon was pushing blood into places where blood had not been reaching well. Shennong experimented for months. He gave cinnamon to those whose extremities were always cold, to elders whose circulation had slowed, to women who suffered monthly pain from stagnant blood. One after another, they reported the same thing: warmth where there had been cold, movement where there had been blockage, relief where there had been pain. He wrote in his manuscript, "This aromatic bark from the south has the power to move the blood. It pushes life into places where it has withdrawn. It warms what cold has invaded. It opens pathways that have closed. It is like a warm wind blowing inside the body." Imperial physicians adopted cinnamon for circulation problems, for fingers that turned blue in winter, for pain caused by stagnant blood, for people who felt cold, no matter how many layers they wore. Cinnamon became the remedy for internal cold. But Shennong discovered something else. He noticed that people who consumed cinnamon regularly craved sweets less. Cinnamon had a natural sweetness. But more than that, it seemed to satisfy something deep in the body, as if it tricked the body into believing it had already received what it was seeking. People who used cinnamon maintained their weight more easily, not by eating less food, by no longer desiring harmful sweets. The Taoists used cinnamon in their longevity practices. They believed it kept the inner fire burning, that life faded as the body cooled, that warmth preserved vitality, cold was decay, heat was life, and cinnamon was the bark that protected that fire. The organ cinnamon regenerates is the entire circulatory system. The heart that pumps, the arteries that carry blood outward, the veins that bring it back, the capillaries that reach every cell, the internal river network that keeps the body alive. When circulation weakens, everything weakens. Tissues without blood die, organs without nourishment decline. The body cools from the extremities inward. Cinnamon reverses this process. It pushes blood outward, keeps the extremities alive, preserves warmth where cold tries to settle. Shennong classified cinnamon as a middle herb, powerful and essential, but one that must be used with respect, because fire heals, but uncontrolled fire destroys. The fifth plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed, the bark of the southern tree, the liquid fire that restores the flow of life. Chapter 6. Licorice root. The ancients called it the peacemaker, not because it was weak, because it possessed a power no other plant had, the power to unite, to harmonize, to make opposing forces work together. It grows in the dry plains of northern China and Central Asia, a modest plant. No bright flowers, no striking fruits, nothing that attracts the eye, only long roots stretching deep beneath the earth, searching for water where water is scarce. Roots that survive droughts that kill other plants. Roots that store something extraordinary inside them. Licorice is 50 times sweeter than sugar. That intense sweetness, hidden inside a root growing in harsh, dry land, amazed the ancients. How could such dryness produce such sweetness? Shennong discovered licorice by accident. He was experimenting with herbal combinations. Some plants canceled each other out. Others became dangerously strong. Many simply refused to work together. One day he added licorice to a mixture that was failing. The change was immediate. The plants stopped fighting each other. The formula stabilized. The effects became smooth and predictable. It was as if licorice had entered the mixture and convinced every other plant to work toward the same goal. Shennong repeated the experiment dozens of times. Always the same result. Licorice softened what was too strong, strengthened what was too weak, balanced what was chaotic. He wrote in his manuscript, "This sweet root of the dry plains possesses a unique gift among all plants. It makes the others cooperate. It reduces the toxicity of dangerous herbs. It amplifies the effectiveness of gentle herbs. It guides all forces toward harmony." But licorice also had its own healing powers. Shennong tested it alone. The first effect appeared in his throat. Years of experimenting had irritated his lungs. A persistent cough followed him. Licorice calmed the cough. It soothed the raw throat. It coated irritated tissues like a liquid balm. Then he noticed its effect on the stomach. Licorice eased acidity, protected the stomach lining, created a gentle barrier against burning pain. People with stomach discomfort found relief by chewing the root. But there was a third effect, more subtle yet powerful. Licorice calmed the spirit, not like a sedative that numbs, like a friend that reassures. Anxious people felt centered. Irritable people became patient, as if licorice's power to harmonize plants extended to emotions. The physicians who followed Shennong made licorice the foundation of Chinese medicine. It appears in more formulas than any other herb, not as the main ingredient, as the one that makes all others work properly. The orchestra conductor who plays no instrument, yet makes all instruments sound right. Ancient doctors said licorice entered all 12 meridians of the body, the invisible channels through which life energy flows. Most herbs affect only a few meridians. Licorice affects them all. It reaches every organ, every system, every corner of the body. That is why it can accompany almost any herb. Lung formulas, liver formulas, heart formulas, kidney formulas, digestive formulas. Licorice belongs everywhere. The organ licorice regenerates is not a single organ. It is harmony itself, the balance between all systems. When the body is in conflict, everything suffers. When harmony returns, everything heals. Licorice redistributes, rebalances, reminds the body how to function as one unified whole instead of separate struggling parts. Shennong classified licorice as a superior herb, not only because it healed, but because it unified, not only because it treated symptoms, but because it restored balance. The sixth plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed, the sweet root of the plains, the peacemaker, the one that teaches all other plants to work together. Chapter 7. Turmeric. The ancients called it the gold of the earth, not because of trade value, because of its color. When the fresh root is cut open, The inside shines with a yellow so intense, so bright, it looks as if precious metal were hidden inside a plant. A gold that stains everything it touches. Hands, cloth, bowls, a color that refuses to be ignored. It grows in the tropical regions of southern Asia. In India, it has been cultivated for more than 4,000 years. In humid lands fed by monsoon rains, where plants grow with extraordinary strength. There, turmeric was part of daily life long before writing existed. Shennong obtained turmeric from merchants traveling the Silk Road. It came as golden powder, but he also received fresh roots from traders who had made the long journey from the western lands. He wanted to test both forms. He wanted to understand what this root that painted everything gold could do. The flavor was earthy, bitter, with a soft warmth that did not burn like ginger. It warmed slowly. There was something ancient in the taste, something that spoke of deep soil, intense sun, and long seasons of rain. The effects were not immediate. Shennong consumed turmeric for weeks before noticing change. But when he did, he understood why the Western peoples revered it. The pain was leaving. Shennong carried old pains, joints that complained in the morning, muscles that remembered decades of labor, the kind of pain elders accept as the price of living. After weeks of turmeric, those pains faded. Not suddenly, gradually. One morning, rising from bed felt easier. Another day-long walks no longer ended in aching knees. Another day he realized he could not remember the last time something had hurt. He investigated deeper. He gave turmeric to elders with chronic pain, to warriors whose old wounds never fully healed, to workers whose bodies were worn by years of effort. All reported the same thing. Pain that had been permanent began to retreat. He wrote in his manuscript, "This golden root from the West has power over pain born of inflammation. When tissues swell, it calms them. When joints burn, it cools them. When the body fights itself, it brings peace. It is the gold that extinguishes inner fires that should not burn." The ancients understood inflammation as excess internal heat. Turmeric was the antidote. In India, it had been used for thousands of years. Mixed into warm milk at night, applied to wounds to prevent infection, used in sacred rituals of purification. Brides were covered in turmeric paste before marriage, not only for color, for protection, for blessing, for cleansing. The organ turmeric regenerates is not a single organ. It is every inflamed tissue, joints, muscles, internal organs. The silent inflammation that slowly destroys the body. Modern science identified curcumin, one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory compounds known. It reduces swelling, relieves pain, protects cells from damage. What Shennong observed through experience, laboratories confirm today. Shennong classified turmeric as a middle herb, a powerful root for those carrying the weight of years in their bodies. The seventh plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed. The gold of the earth, the extinguisher of inner fires. Chapter 8. Dong Quai, Angelica root. The Chinese call it Dang Gi. The name means the one who should return. There is a legend behind that name. A young woman married a man who went to war. Before leaving, he promised he would return in 3 years. If he did not return, she would be free to rebuild her life. The woman waited. 3 years passed. The man did not return. Honoring the promise, she married another man. 1 month later, the first husband returned. He had been captured, imprisoned, and finally escaped. He arrived to find his wife in another man's arms. The pain was unbearable. The woman collapsed into illness. No physician could cure her. The sickness was not only in the body, it was in the heart, in the spirit, in blood that had stagnated under the weight of sorrow. An old woman from the village brought her a mountain root. She told her to boil it and drink the tea every day. The woman recovered. The root was named Dang Gi, the one who should return, like the husband who should have returned in time, like blood that should return to flowing properly, like life that should return to those who have lost it. Shennong knew this plant long before the legend existed. He found it in high mountain regions where cold air slowed growth. Plants there matured slowly, accumulating strength over many years. It was an aromatic root with a penetrating scent that announced its power. What Shennong discovered changed women's health forever. Dong Quai acted directly on the blood. It nourished blood when it was weak, moved it when it was stagnant, balanced it when it was chaotic. And these effects were especially strong in women. Women bleed every month. This natural process can be smooth or painful. When blood flows properly, cycles pass without suffering. When blood stagnates, cramps, exhaustion, and pain appear. Dong Quai regulated the flow. Women who had suffered for years found relief. Those who feared each month stopped fearing. Those who believed pain was inevitable discovered it was not. Shennong wrote in his manuscript, "This high mountain root is the herb of women. It nourishes weak blood, moves stagnant blood, regulates what is disordered. Women who consume it bleed without pain, conceive with ease, and age with grace." But Dong Quai was not only for women. Men also suffer from weak or stagnant blood. Pale skin, constant fatigue, a feeling of life slowly draining. Shennong gave the root to such men. They improved as well. Blood is blood in every body, and Dong Quai knows how to restore it. For 5,000 years, Chinese doctors have prescribed Angelica root. It remains the most important herb for blood health, the most used for women's SIDS conditions, the most revered for restoring vitality. The organ Dong Quai regenerates is the blood itself, the living river that connects all organs, carries nutrients, removes waste, sustains life. When blood is abundant and flowing, health thrives. When blood is weak or stagnant, illness follows. Dong Quai strengthens this river, keeps it flowing, restores color to life. Shennong classified Dong Quai as a superior herb, one of the most important in the entire herbal compendium. The 8th plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed. The root that should return, the herb of blood and renewal. Chapter 9. Schisandra berries. The ancients called them the berries of 5 flavors, because something impossible happens when they touch the tongue, something no other plant does. They are sweet and sour and salty and bitter and spicy, all at the same time, not one after another, together, intertwined, creating a sensation that confuses and fascinates. Shennong found them in the northern forests, a vine climbing tall trees, producing clusters of small red berries. Birds devoured them. Animals searched for them. Nature itself revealed their value. When Shennong tasted the first berry, he stopped. He chewed slowly, closed his eyes, tried to understand what his senses were experiencing. Flavors appeared and vanished, merged and separated, shifted with every second the berry remained in his mouth. In the medical system Shennong was creating, the 5 flavors corresponded to 5 major organs. Sweet nourished the spleen, sour nourished the liver, salty nourished the kidneys, bitter nourished the heart, spicy nourished the lungs. A plant containing all 5 flavors should nourish all 5 organs. It was theory. Shennong needed proof. He consumed Schisandra daily for months. He observed carefully, and the results confirmed the theory. His lungs breathed easier. His liver processed more smoothly. His kidneys filtered better. His heart beat more steadily. His digestion improved. It was as if the berries had been designed to strengthen the entire system. But there was more. Shennong noticed his mind sharpening. He could focus longer. Thoughts flowed clearly. Memory improved. He wrote, "These berries of 5 flavors nourish all organs, but their greatest gift is to the mind. They sharpen thought, strengthen memory, sustain concentration when it fails. Chinese scholars adopted Schisandra. During imperial exams, when futures depended on mental performance, students consumed the berries. During long nights of study, Schisandra kept minds clear. Taoist monks used it to deepen meditation. A calm, focused mind was essential for inner practice. Schisandra centered the spirit without dulling it. It also protected the liver, crucial for someone like Shennong, who had consumed countless toxins. It repaired what had been damaged. The organ Schisandra regenerates includes all 5 main organs, but its strongest influence is on the liver and the mind. Modern science confirms its adaptogenic properties: liver protection, cognitive enhancement, stress resistance. The ancient observation of 5 flavors reflected chemical complexity. Shennong classified Schisandra as a superior herb. One of the jewels of the herbal manuscript, the 9th plant of the forbidden herbal, has been revealed. The berries of 5 flavors, the tonic that nourishes the whole body. Chapter 10. Reishi mushroom. Reishi is not a plant. It is a mushroom, but the ancients made no such distinction. For them, everything that grew from the earth and healed belonged to the same sacred kingdom. And this mushroom held such a high place that they called it the mushroom of immortality. It grows on the trunks of dying trees, in damp forests where sunlight barely reaches, where ancient trees fall and slowly decay, where death feeds new life. There, in that space between life and decay, reishi emerges like a messenger from another world. Its appearance is unmistakable, fan-shaped, glossy, as if polished by hand. Its colors range from deep red to dark brown, sometimes edged with gold or orange. It does not look edible. It looks sacred, and for thousands of years it was treated as sacred. Chinese emperors sent expeditions into forests solely to find reishi. Finding one was a sign of heavenly favor, a treasure greater than jewels, because jewels could not offer what reishi promised: long life, peace, strength of spirit. Shennong searched for years before finding his first reishi. Its rarity was part of its power. It did not grow anywhere. It appeared only under precise conditions. Many seekers lived entire lives without seeing one. When Shennong finally held one in his hands, he felt he was holding something holy. The mushroom was hard like wood. It could not be eaten raw. It had to be boiled for hours. Its essence slowly infused into the water. The liquid became dark and bitter, a taste of deep forests and ancient earth. Shennong drank this tea daily. At first, nothing dramatic happened. No rush of energy, no instant clarity. Reishi worked differently, quietly, deeply, slowly. The first thing he noticed was sleep. He slept deeply, peacefully. He woke feeling restored, as if something inside him had been repaired during the night. Then he noticed his emotions. A calm appeared, not numbness, true serenity. Even when life was difficult, it was as if reishi tuned something that had been out of balance for years. Then came a sensation harder to describe, a connection between body and spirit. The Taoists had words for it. They called it nourishing the Shen, the spirit, the inner essence. Shennong wrote, "This mushroom born where death feeds life calms the troubled mind without dulling it. It brings peace to the heart without weakening it. It connects the earthly with the heavenly. The wise who drink it meditate deeper. Rulers who take it govern with clarity. The elderly who drink it approach death without fear." Taoist masters made reishi central to longevity practice. They believed it nourished the 3 treasures: essence, energy, spirit. To strengthen all 3 was to transcend normal human limits. Legend spoke of immortals who consumed reishi regularly. Whether myth or reality, its reputation endured. The organ reishi regenerates is not just physical, It heals the heart in its deepest sense, the emotional center, the spiritual core. Modern science has discovered its remarkable properties: immune-strengthening compounds, anti-inflammatory agents, liver protection, blood pressure regulation, stress hormone reduction. Reishi balances the nervous system, calms anxiety, improves sleep, creates internal harmony. Shennong classified reishi as a superior herb, the highest of all, because while others healed the body, reishi healed the spirit. The 10th plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed: the mushroom of immortality, the bridge between life and death. Chapter 11. Green tea. Legend says Shennong discovered it by accident. He was sitting beneath a tree boiling water to drink. Some leaves fell into the pot. The water changed color. A new aroma rose with the steam. Shennong, true to his nature, did not discard the water. He tasted it, and the world changed. Whether legend or reality, the result was the same. Shennong discovered a leaf that released something unique in hot water, something no other plant released in quite the same way. This was different from every stimulant he had tested before. The stimulating plants always demanded a price. They gave energy, then took it away. They awakened the mind, then exhausted it. They accelerated the heart while sharpening thought. There was always a trade-off. Green tea asked for none. It awakened the mind and kept it awake. It gave clarity without agitation. It energized without crashing. It was as if someone had discovered how to awaken the brain without harming the body. Shennong drank tea daily for weeks. He studied its effects carefully. He could concentrate longer. Thoughts flowed smoothly. He worked for hours without mental fatigue. The mind remained alert, but calm, focused, but peaceful. He wrote, "This leaf from the southern mountains awakens without disturbing. It clarifies without cooling. It energizes without exhausting. The wise can think for hours without tiring the mind. Meditators can remain present without falling asleep." Centuries later, Buddhist monks discovered the same truth. Tea allowed long meditation without drowsiness. Awareness stayed sharp. The body stayed stable. But green tea did more than stimulate the mind. Shennong noticed those who drank it regularly became sick less often. They maintained healthier weight. Their breath was fresher, their teeth stronger. The leaf protected the whole body. Mountain monks lived exceptionally long lives. They drank tea every day. It was their one indulgence. Yet their longevity exceeded surrounding populations. Modern science revealed why. Green tea is rich in catechins, powerful antioxidants that protect cells from aging. They protect the heart, the brain, the metabolism. Green tea also contains L-theanine, an amino acid that produces calm alertness. It increases alpha brain waves, relaxation without sleepiness. Combined with tea sip's natural caffeine, it creates a unique state, peaceful focus. The organ green tea regenerates is the mind, the brain, memory, attention. It protects against cognitive decline. Regions with the highest green tea consumption have the lowest rates of dementia. Mental clarity lasts longer, but its benefits go further. It protects the heart, supports fat metabolism, strengthens gums and teeth, protects skin. A simple leaf acting on nearly every system. Shennong did not know the chemistry. He knew the results. He classified green tea as a superior herb, a plant safe to consume daily, multiple times per day, one that accumulates benefit over time. The 11th plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed, the leaf that awakens without disturbing, the silent companion of sages for 5,000 years. Chapter 12. Chrysanthemum. The final plant of the forbidden herbal is not a root, not bark, not a mushroom, not a leaf. It is a flower, and not just any flower. It is the flower the Chinese chose as the symbol of autumn, the flower that blooms when all others fade, the flower that shows its beauty precisely when the world begins to die. Emperors cultivated entire gardens of chrysanthemums, not only for their beauty, because they understood the message of the flower. True strength appears when conditions become harsh. Blooming in autumn requires a power that blooming in spring does not. Shennong found wild chrysanthemums in the eastern hills of China. Yellow and white flowers that appeared as cold began to settle. When other plants prepared to sleep, these awakened, as if following a different calendar. He tasted the petals. The flavor was delicate, floral, but with a light bitterness. Shennong had learned that bitterness often signaled medicinal strength. The effects were subtle but unmistakable. The first thing he noticed was his eyes. Long hours of writing had strained his vision. Burning, irritation, difficulty focusing. After days of chrysanthemum tea, the discomfort disappeared. His eyes felt refreshed, rested, as if they had slept deeply. The second effect was the heat that sometimes rose to his head. The warmth that flushed the face, triggered headaches, created internal pressure. Chrysanthemum cooled that heat, dispersed it, brought relief. Shennong wrote, "This autumn flower has affinity with the eyes and the head. It cools what is overheated, clears clouded vision, relieves pain caused by rising heat." Chinese scholars made chrysanthemum their flower, not only for symbolism, for its healing power. Endless hours of reading and writing strained the eyes. Chrysanthemum protected them, allowed work to continue without suffering. Imperial doctors prescribed it for fevers, especially those affecting the head and eyes. In traditional Chinese medicine, the eyes are linked to the liver. When the liver is overworked, the eyes suffer. When the liver holds excess heat, the eyes burn and redden. Chrysanthemum cools the liver, and by cooling the liver, it heals the eyes. One flower, two vital systems restored. Modern science confirmed these ancient observations. Chrysanthemum contains anti-inflammatory compounds. It improves blood flow to the eyes, protects the retina, supports liver detoxification. The ancient connection between eyes and liver was not superstition. It was precise observation. Shennong classified chrysanthemum as a superior herb, a flower safe for daily use, protecting essential organs, cooling what modern life overheats. The 12th and final plant of the forbidden herbal has been revealed, the flower of autumn, the protector of eyes that red, and the liver that filters.